He appeared at my door after midnight, face battered, lips cracked open, eyes like empty wells. My twin brother, Ian, the one who'd always grin through the worst of it. But not that night. He couldn't. He just stood there shaking, barely getting the words out. They did it again. I didn't need to ask who. I already knew. His wife's brothers. All three of them. Big, obnoxious, worthless guys who lived off their dad's cash. They treated her like a prize to show off and him like some dog they'd picked up off the street. Ian figured marrying into money would give him a solid life. Instead, it gave him scars. I pulled him inside, got him sitting down, watched his hands tremble as he tried covering up the fresh marks around his wrists. I got him some water. He could barely grip the glass. That's when I made up my mind to do the switch. We've looked exactly the same our whole lives. Same face, same voice, same build. But I've always been the harder one. He had a heart. I had a plan. He healed people. I destroyed them when I had to. Growing up, I was his shield. When kids at school cornered him, I'd handle it. In college, when some guy screwed him over, I made sure that guy regretted ever stepping foot on campus. But this was something else. This was murder in slow motion, dressed up as a marriage. He didn't want payback. He just wanted out. I wanted justice. It kicked off about 2 months back when the bruises got too obvious to ignore. He started hiding them with makeup, long sleeves, fake smiles at family gatherings. I knew something was seriously wrong when his laugh didn't sound like his anymore. One night, he showed up with a busted rib, telling me he'd tripped. I told him I don't believe in accidents that keep happening over and over. A few days later, I witnessed it myself. Her brothers stopping by, wasted, loud as hell, making fun of him about money. One of them shoved him hard into a wall while she just stood there acting like she saw nothing. I burned every face in that room into my memory, every cocky grin, every nasty comment. That's when I started putting the pieces together. Quietly. The switch needed to be seamless. I watched his routine for weeks straight. How he talked, the way he held his coffee cup, even the way he scribbled his signature. He pushed back at first. "They're going to hurt you too," he warned. I just smiled. "I'd like to see them try." We made it happen on a Thursday. He took off. I slipped into his shoes. Nobody caught on. That night at dinner, I sat in his usual spot, kept my mouth shut, just watched. The brothers cracked jokes, called me weak, slid a glass of whiskey my way. I took my time with it, eyes locked on them. They hate silence. Silence freaks guys like that out. When one of them leaned over to pat my face, mocking, testing how far he could push, I grabbed his wrist. "Steady. Cool. Try that again," I said quietly, "and I'll snap your hand in half." The joke stopped. I took my time with it. Weeks of acting, smiling at his wife, nodding along with her parents, soaking up information. I figured out everything. Their debts, their shady deals, the illegal property transfers running through their father's business. I documented every single thing. Emails, voice recordings, bank account details. Then I started pulling strings. Some well-placed anonymous tips to the right people. A missing document here, a fake signature there. Their little kingdom started falling apart. Nice and quiet. By the time they realized what was happening, the audit was already underway. Their money locked up. Their father's company under a microscope. But I wasn't finished. Phase 2 was up close and personal. One night, they rolled up drunk as usual, demanding cash from Ian. I fixed their drinks, waited for my opening, then told them exactly what I thought of them. You beat on a man because deep down you're terrified of being real men yourselves. The oldest one came at me fast. I let him. His fist connected. I didn't flinch. Then I swung back. Once. That's all it took. He went down hard. The other two just froze. Want to feel what he felt? I said, grabbing the second one by his shirt. Every mark you put on him, I'm giving back double. They didn't swing. Not that night. But the real damage was done. Their egos couldn't take getting dropped by someone they'd written off as nothing. They came back for me, 3-on-1. This time, I was prepared. The cops were parked outside, already tipped off by some concerned neighbor. The whole thing got caught on camera. When they hauled them out in cuffs, I stood by the window. Calm. Still. Content. Ian came back 2 weeks later. By then, everything had imploded. The brothers were facing charges, their family business in pieces, and his wife had filed for divorce to save herself. He stared at me like I was a stranger. "What did you do?" he asked. I gave him a slight smile. "I just reminded them what happens when you mess with the wrong twin." He wanted to be angry. I could see it written all over him. But underneath that, there was something else. Relief. Maybe even respect. We just sat there for a while. Two matching faces telling two sides of the same story. His suffering, my reckoning. When he finally found his voice again, it broke. "It's over." I stared out the window. No. It's even. People think revenge is driven by anger. It's not. It's about taking back control. It's about fixing a world that got knocked off balance.